What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk a little bit about content that converts. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company in Orlando, Florida, www.djsorlando.com. And I also have a coaching business. Website's right here, www.coachscottking.com. And basically, I teach the skills that I learned from NLP, hypnotists, and internet marketers in order to scale my business to $372K in sales last year. Now, I remember when I was just starting out, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to get to a number that large. And yet, here we are. Let's see what's beyond the horizon. So today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, how I scale my business with the content that I have, like on websites and social media, and a little bit about how the sales funnel works, if you want to call it a sales funnel, and what are the things that we could talk about today. Now, first, let's talk a little bit about social media. Now, there's some things that I see that other people are doing, and it's kind of making me scratch my head. So what I see is, some guys, they'll take a ton of events and put them into one post. So I don't know if you've been on Instagram and you see like 5 pictures all in one post. Well, here's another thing to think about, right? So how does the algorithm work? The algorithm works if you keep feeding it stuff constantly. So if you take 10 events and make one post, you may think you've done a lot of work. Yet if you took those things and then dripped them out, over, a period of time, the algorithm has more of an idea of who to put these things in front of, right? So if you had a ton of posts and just put it on one thing, now that's kind of cool if part of your sales funnel is to have your new lead focused to this one post. But if you're trying to reach a broader audience, right, you would take those posts, instead of having, one post with 5 different things on it, you would have one post with those 5 different things over 5 different days. And this is something that I see a lot of people doing. They won't post as much, but they'll post like some really good stuff, and then this won't be enough, right? The algorithm is brutal. It's unforgiving. And the more that you can get up there, the more that you'll be able to get in front of different people, especially if you're tagging, like a venue, or you're tagging other vendors, or maybe even tagging someone that you got along with, or a celebrity that was at one of your events, and they end up sharing your post. Then you're going to get to a larger audience. So just keep that in mind. The more consistency that you can get out there, the more you'll be able to hit a broader audience. Those are just some things to think about when it comes to social media. Also, when I went to ClickFunnels Live, Russell Brunson's up there on stage saying all these different things. The thing that really stuck with me was that he's like, video is the best way to post, to social media. And even though Instagram may be made for images, videos tend to get better reactions. And they did a bunch of split testing. They're on stage and saying, video gets your personality in front of other people so that they can, understand you better, right? So just something else to keep in mind. And I know as DJs, you guys want to put up, the music mixes, and I see on these forums that people are like, how can I record a video and get the audio, synced up so that people can see, the shows that I do and how I mix for like an hour. First of all, what do you think the attention span is of some people, right? The attention span is getting shorter because of, how phones are designed. You probably watch something for like 30 seconds and then you're on to the next thing. So to put together an hour of you mixing and showing somebody how a party goes, do you think someone's going to sit in front of, a TV or their phone for like an hour and watch how the event unfolds? Probably not. You probably just want to do highlight reels. And on top of that, right, let's talk about music. Like if you're a DJ and you're putting up your mixes, what are the chances that you're going to get taken down because of all these different copyright and, the algorithm's getting better at being able to catch music and, take it down or silence it. And basically, for me personally, right, Mondays, after I've had a weekend of a whole bunch of gigs, I take all the content that I get and, put a bunch of different reels together with CapCut. And I use music from an AI generated source. Now, it's better to do that because I don't have to have any fear of something being taken down. Even when I'm doing a photo booth 360, right? Like I won't even use a copyrighted labeled song. I will use AI. And if you guys don't know about this site, make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to, make sure you get to it. But it's Suno. So basically, I type whatever I want into Suno, and it spits out instrumentals. Mostly I use instrumentals for my posting, right? So yeah, I'm not too worried about words unless I'm doing a prom night and they have a photo booth. I'll have it, make a cute little song about proms or something like that with lyrics, and I can make a girl or a guy or whatever vibe I'm going for, right? So I don't have to worry about that being taken down because, it's AI generated. And when it comes to that, when you do reels, just make them under a minute, and then you could post to all the different platforms, right? So I think Facebook is like a minute and a half, and Instagram is like a minute, and TikTok, you could probably go longer with that. Just make them all under a minute, and then you could consistently post in all these different platforms constantly. And it also kind of depends on what your content looks like. And you don't have to get too flashy, but you want to make sure that it looks professional enough to be able to show somebody, hey, look, I can rock a party, or this is what your photo booth content will look like, or this is what, people look like when they spin around in the 360. And it just gets the end product, and then they can decide whether or not that works for them or not. And if they have any questions after that, then you can just explain, oh yeah, we can move the camera back, or, this party was really jamming because there was 300 people there, and your party has like 50 people. So it might look a little bit different, that kind of thing, if they have any questions moving forward. So just keep in mind what kind of information you're putting in front of somebody. So you want to make it as simple as possible, right? So basically, I could be on the phone while driving, and somebody can ask me questions about, oh, what's the photo booth strip going to look like? Well, you can go to our YouTube shorts, or you can go to our Instagram or TikTok, and you just scroll a few posts in, and you'll be able to find, what a 360 looks like, or what that event looked like when we were at that one venue. That's another thing people like, right? If they're going to a venue that you've already been to, and if you have images of you with your setup in that venue, well, number one, they feel secure because you know what that venue is. Number two, they know what it's going to look like because they can envision themselves in that scenario. So keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to make this video pretty short because I've learned the more people watch, the longer they watch, and if they can get to the end of your YouTube video, they'll put it in front of more people. So the shorter I make it with as much information that I can give you will be most beneficial for everybody, right? So if I scroll over to my website real quick, it's really important to understand like how the sales funnel works. And right off the bat, it's like school dances, weddings, probably take down streaming parties. Haven't done any of those in a while. Yet at the same time, it's like, what does this guy offer? And it's just a banner that keeps spinning around. Weddings, professional DJs and MCs. And then it's right, the first thing, call to action right there. And then here's a little video, right? This is like 5 minutes long, and it's a highlight reel of all the different events that we've done so they can see, what we look like in action. Again, I'm a pretty decent video editor, so I put these clips together real quick so that they can, envision, what we got, right? And of course, it's really important to understand that testimonials or reviews are probably like your best weapon. If somebody's already used your service and they can read what what that event was like for that customer, then that's another convincer for somebody to be like, oh yeah, well, if this guy could do it for them and they had such a great time, well, it's another one of those things where it's like, well, he must be amazing for me too. If these guys have so many great things to say about him, then that's just another drop in the bucket of, what takes somebody's conscious to know that you're the person for the job and they sign a contract with you. And then up next, we have an image of what a cloud dance looks like. You're always selling the next thing. And then of course, some people are moved by prestige. So having, Captain Fear, your event. Oh yeah, he did a pretty high profile event. So, if Captain Fear was at his party, then, he must be something, right? And then of course, over here, right, you got the cloud dance. This is what an uplight looks like. And then envision yourself inside of this picture, right? And then, of course, always on the upsells. Oh, look, we got a photo booth. And then we got a professionally made video that talks about the services. It's made kind of podcast style. So, somebody that doesn't know who you are, they could see a video and be like, bam, this is everything, and as long as it looks professional. That's another convincer for somebody. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Yeah, I just created an app, and anybody who's booking a wedding, they can get our app for free. Cost me somewhere around $13K in order to have that made. And if you don't know who I am and you're like, oh man, I have all these DJs in front of me, and oh, this guy made an app, he must be doing pretty good. And on top of that, if you guys want to have this on your website, I've actually, made it, white labeled it. If you don't know what white labeling is, you could take the idea that I had and then put your own logo on it, and it's finished, it's ready. And if you guys want to download it for free and check it out, the link's on the website. Also, on top of that, we got a couple of other images of people having a good time, and then more video proof of corporate events that we've done. It's basically like, oh, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And then, of course, when it comes to SEO, you want to have a lot of words on your website, because that's how Google was able to, put your information in front of whoever's typing inside the Google search bar, right? So think about it like this. If you had an image on your website, Google would be like, okay, how does that image fit into what this person's typing into Google? They wouldn't understand. But the more words you have, the more, when Google does what is called a crawl through your website, they're able to triangulate, calculate, and understand what your site is better, so that they can raise it up higher on the Google search. So just kind of keep those things in mind. Again, I was going to keep this pretty short for you guys, because the more people that get through the end of the video, the more it shows the video to other people. So if you like the information that you found here and you found it useful, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, hit those thumbs up button, and I'll put some more videos out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Again, if you have questions, hit me down below, and talk to you soon. All right, bye.